So we will go from 20th to 16th is the major operation. We'll extend all the way out to Burger King. We'll go up the side streets, up to Solano Way, and then traffic will be diverted from 20th Street onto International for the bypass. During the time frame of the actual closure, we anticipate that both sides of East 12th Street will be closed and will provide alternative routes for traffic.
Right. Yeah.
It'll be closed like a worker zone only?
Okay, I'm sorry. So, and when would that begin?
On May 12th, next Monday, will be the start of the operation.
And would that include the street closures at that time?
Yes.
Or? Okay, yes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, for the,
Can you,
I'm Stephanie.
Can you stand up and state your name and then, yeah.
I stay right here on this call. At the extended stay, there's supposed to be like 70-something rooms for all the people right here on East 12.
Okay.
But we have way more people than that. Where does everybody else go? Like,
Okay, we're gonna get to that in the following questions. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Brenda Grisham, and I'm a business owner on International. And so my question to you is, International is already a small street, so you guys are gonna put all that traffic on International when you're blocking off all these lanes? Cause I come this way off the freeway to get to my businesses. So we're gonna have to go down the street and around, everybody coming down International. That's not, it's only one lane. So how's that gonna work out?
So what we'll end up with is we'll have OPD and traffic control, and DOT try to establish the best path possible. But during the course of the operation, East 12th Street will be closed and we'll be routing the traffic out of East 12th Street.
Okay, can we go? Yes, sir.
Is it possible to, cause on a certain point, East 12 comes to a 2-lane, maybe you can whip it, make the direction go, I guess, north, 1 lane, and then use the other lane to, go the back way?
Well, and so this is all part of the problem we're having with this partial question. I need to tell the complete story. And the complete story is this, that because of the sheer magnitude of the encampment, we need to be able to close off the entire street because of this. Because each encampment or structure, we have to go through and create fire breaks throughout the entire process. We're not quite sure what's actually left inside of each encampment. Before we go in and deconstruct the encampment, we have to make sure there's no flammable material, nothing to hurt or causing explosions. So the first thing we do is to secure the entire site. The next thing we do is to create fire breaks throughout the entire site. Then we go in with a hazard team along with OFD, open fire, to check out each fire break area and then deconstruct that area. And then from that point, we can establish our safe work zone and have our crews go in and deconstruct each location. We can't have any traffic or any people in the area as we're working.
So I think the sentiment from people, just to kind of recap that, is that that kind of closure on both sides is going to have a traffic impact that'll impact businesses on International. I know it's not a perfect solution, but, right, so in terms of the city being mindful about being able to divert traffic and make sure that the traffic is as movable as possible, given those circumstances.
I'll relay that information to over to traffic control.
Okay, let's take a couple more questions on this. Sir.
So I just had a question. So you keep saying operation. Operation sounds like a surgery or something, first of all. And then, so how much does it cost to have your city workers deconstruct this site? And why can't we pay the people who are living here to deconstruct it themselves?
Hello.
Hello. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Well, yeah, Mr. Duff, do you have any?
So this particular operation, it is a city operation, and we have to use city employees to return the streets back to the public.
Wow.
Okay, let's take this one, ma'am, and then,
So I'd like to know
gentleman
what's
right
gonna happen to the people who don't get picked to go to the hotel? What happens to them? And if they stay in their houses, what happens to them? Because they don't have anywhere else to go.
Right.
So, we'll start out from the very beginning in terms of, there was a core census that was developed, that started 6 months ago. And so of that core census, there were 79 individuals that were identified. Of those 79 individuals, there's been continual outreach to those individuals to try to get them to accept the services at Extended Stay America. Now,
But there are more than 70. I live there, I know
Okay,
there's
let-
more than 70.
let's, let
Okay,
him.
I'm just letting you know, there's definitely more than 70. So where are they gonna go? I just wanna know.
Okay, you know
I'm
what,
telling you
let's
'cause I
do
live
this,
there.
let's do this, we're gonna take it back.
let him finish-
we're
let him
gonna
finish
take
what he
that
was saying.
question up later, because it's more appropriate.
Later, when will later come though?
I can finish the conversation.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna fight with you.
No, baby, I don't wanna fight you. I never wanna
So,
fight you.
so of the 79 individuals that are identified as core citizens, there will be, because more people have migrated to the area, and it's been a long time. So I want to make sure that we acknowledge that. We thought that we were gonna have this grant done and ready to go months ago. But because of delays and getting the state to sign the contracts, we've had delays. So when we do the operation, we have also identified people that were not in the original core census. So they're being put on a floater list. And so once all the 79 people have been placed into the new facility or not accepted, there's any space left, those individuals will also be added to the list and may get services. In addition to the existing services, we'll look at our other operations that we have to be able to provide those services.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir? Yeah, with the hat.
My name is Bradley Penner, the Street Spirit News. I have a two-part question. So looking at the encampment management schedule for this upcoming week, starting next Monday, it looks like it'll be in increments down East 12 through Friday. And I assume that it might roll over into the following weeks if it comes up on the schedule. Will the entirety of both sides of East 12 be closed in their entirety through that, or will you be doing it in segments?
We will be closing East 12th, both sides, starting on the 12th. And the operation is actually scheduled for a month. If it takes short, that's great. But our goal is to, during that first initial phase, close the entire area to create a safe work zone and be able to create those fire breaks that I mentioned earlier, and then allow our crews to go through.
Okay, so that's actually my second question, and just to clarify on the first, so it'll be closed Monday through Friday, or also on weekends in its entirety for the entirety of that month?
I believe that it will be open on the weekend.
Okay, and so the entire boundary, including East 12 on both sides, anywhere inside of that will be considered within the safe work zone boundary?
So East 12th from 20th all the way down to 16th Street, and then the side streets will be closed off up to Solano Way. So traffic will be diverted from 20th onto International.
But will it be considered a safe work zone?
Yes.
Okay. Would you mind clarifying for the people in the room what the safe work zone ordinance is for the city of Oakland?
So what our safe work zone ordinance does, it allows us to close off streets to be able to allow our workers to be able to move freely, but then get people out of the safe work zone. We can't move equipment and processes throughout the area if there are individuals in the work zone.
Okay, thank you. We're gonna move on to the next section. And so this is about the Mandela House. The Mandela House. So question is, what should incoming residents expect to see, receive, and participate in at the Mandela House?
Okay. Hi, I'm Darren Lowndes. I'm the Director of Housing Consortium of East Bay and HCB. Okay, now I'll try this a little bit. Sorry, I have a sick kid at home, I don't wanna, I'll put this up. So in HCB, in partnership with Mimar Properties Inc. and Ali Kashani.
Hi, everyone.
Purchased the former Extended Stay America. So what folks can expect at Mandela House is that, first, that it's a non-congregate interim housing site for adults and couples from the encampments that have been identified. So non-congregate,
That means individual rooms
yes, that's what it
instead
said.
of congregate shelter, meaning bunk beds.
So it'd be individuals in the room or couples if they came to Mandela House together. Services that'll be provided on site are the housing navigation. I'll say a little bit more about that in a minute. 3 meals per day, laundry services 2 times per week, 24/7 security, bless you, housekeeping, rooms will be cleaned once a week, and additional programming with other community-based organizations. And one of the groups that well, 2 groups we're working with. One is Village Connect. They're going to be doing a restorative justice program, leadership program, mental health groups, and one-on-one therapy. And then we're also in conversations with Street Commons to do some community building events. And we'll maybe have more to talk about later on that. So housing navigation includes document readiness, so getting all those documents that may have been lost, like birth certificate, social security card, ID, things like that. Getting folks entered into the HMIS program. If they're already entered, just getting them updated on address. Doing coordinated entry assessments, which helps folks get their position in the permanent supportive housing queue. Getting folks registered on the queue. Identifying goals and barriers, so working with folks on a housing plan. So, what are the what are your goals? Where do you want to be? And then what are the steps that we need to take to get there? And how do we clear the barriers out of the way? Connection to other services, so not just housing. Even though our goal is to engage on housing search and housing matches as soon as possible with folks. We'll be helping them get connected to other services as well, like primary care, dental, legal, and employment. We also will be doing assistance with housing applications, so folks may be interested in looking for housing out on in the market, and maybe folks have enough income to actually afford a below market rate unit or market rate unit. We will help with that process as well to make the connection. And then once a home is found, we will be helping with housing assistance and move-in support. There'll also be tenancy sustaining services, so we'll be able to work with folks after they've landed in their housing to help support with landlord negotiations, helping them integrate into their new community. Whatever they need, there's no specific thing that we'll do. It'll be more about a needs base for that individual. I'll just do a quick review of some program policies. I'll try to tie it up. HCB Security performs searches when residents enter the building. That is to protect the folks who are inside the building as well as the staff. We've heard rumor that folks will be searched on their way out the building. That is not true. It's only incoming. There are no visitors allowed, but we are creating a visitors lounge under the entryway canopy. I don't know if folks have been to extended stay, but there's a very large entryway cover, like a pavilion, where we'll set up comfortable outdoor furniture for folks to hang out. Social workers, IHSS workers, nurses, etc. are allowed to enter the building to visit with residents, and a room is being prepared for those one-on-one meetings. And then there's 2 first floor rooms will be converted into resident day lounges where folks can come and congregate and hang out. The day lounges will have couches, chairs, TVs, and kitchen. I do want to say a couple things about, we have a community council that's being formed. I've already received not resumes so much, but interest from folks in the community who want to be part of the community council. We're collecting those names and putting together the roster. and we'll be starting that meeting process very soon. The whole goal of the Community Council, which is called Mandela House Undivided, is to ensure transparency to the greater community of program goals and operations, creating buy-in and needs responsiveness and flexibility for clients, especially in program design. So folks will have a say in kind of how things are run at Mandela House and how, the changes that we can make. Some of the changes or some of the things I just mentioned are already functions of feedback we've gotten from the community. We're assisting with ongoing communication with the surrounding neighborhood around ESA, so that's more in the West Oakland neighborhood, and coordinating internal and external support, services, and volunteering opportunities to facilitate client success in the program towards permanent housing, jobs, and other stabilizing outcomes. And if folks are interested, I will put the email address up there that you can just send me your information.
Okay, great. So we're going to take you, ma'am, young man over there, and come back to you.
Just so I understand you correctly, the housing component of this plan, it's just coordinated entry, is that correct? Or is there another process that people can tap into?
Yeah, so coordinator entry would be for placements out of Mandela House.
Right, so is that the only housing component?
No, we'll also be helping folks search for housing. If you have income that could potentially cover rent, we can help with applications and finding units that are affordable out in the community.
Okay, because I guess like people are being told that this is gonna lead to housing, like some kind of housing program, and if it's coordinated entry, which as from what you're telling me, that's what is being offered, like statistically speaking, only half of all people are eligible. So I think, I don't know, I'm a little...
And that's why we'll be looking at all options. Another option is family reunification.
That's the only option.
Well, no, I beg to differ. We can look at family reunification, we can look at roommate situations, pairing people up. There are many options that we can look at beyond just coordinated entry.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, sir?
Yes, I'd like to thank you, sir. Nice job. Mr. Zarda, that's why it's done there. You're asking people, hey, we want to do this, like he's from us. He's letting us know that he's going to have a counsel, right? And with us, right? Telling us that ahead of time, giving us an opportunity to talk with him, right? I feel like the city could have made a coordinated effort to say, hey, come to us, let's clean our own shit up. We'll help you break it down, you're gonna help us break it down safely. Well, we follow direction. That's what you guys need to realize, you know what I'm saying? And if you have too much time, because you guys are going in there blind, thinking in booby traps or landmines, and they're anyway. You know what I'm saying? If we would have known that, and you come see me, we would have went through all of that, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, ma'am?
I have two direct questions to Housing Consortium of the East Bay, and then I also want to make a point of clarification. Mr. Duffy, you had said that the people who are not going to be moved into the extended stay may get services. That is in violation of the encampment management policy. People have to be offered services for encampment to be destroyed. And this is an ongoing narrative that continues to happen with the city of Oakland, where promises are made and not fulfilled, and people are left to the level of trauma that's been happening in the streets of Oakland since the city's been doing this in August 2024, with just evictions and no services, evictions and no shelter, is impacting Oakland housed and unhoused in ways I have never seen before. To the Housing Consortium of the East Bay, first of all, given what has happened to the Lake Merritt Lodge, which is the last property that you guys were managing, and that there was vast neglect and a lot of complaints by residents and lack of providing for the programs and services that sound wonderful as you listen to them, but were not provided to those residents. And the neglect came to a level where a resident died and staff didn't check up on them until the body was decomposing and smelling the entire units, the public space. So yes, that just happened. And so what I'm concerned about is, one, what kind of oversight from the city, what kind of proper staff training, staff hiring and protocols are being put in place so that what happened at the Lake Merritt Lodge is not repeated at East Lake, at East Side, or what it's called? East Mandela House, or any other property that you are managing or any of the other vendors are managing. It don't make no sense. And my second question.
Can I respond to that one?
Yes.
Thank you. So, first of all, there was a very different situation at the Lake Merritt Lodge. The city leased the property. HCB was contracted to provide the services. We did not have a direct relationship to the owner of the building. That created issues over time, and primarily with communication. So the situation, the very unfortunate situation that you brought up was about communication. So the property management staff reported that they thought that there was an issue on a weekend. They sent us to the wrong part of the building. We did welfare checks on that wing, and nothing was found. And on Monday, once we had our full staff, we did the whole building, and that's when we found the body. So you're talking about a weekend to a Monday, and again, it's very unfortunate, and not something we ever want to happen again. We're putting everything we can in place so things like that don't happen again. We put welfare checks are now being handled on tablets so that we have real-time updates going to a central data, so we're able to actually see at any moment when's the last time you saw this individual. And that's something that we'll be incorporating again everywhere in all of our programs. So I just thank you for bringing it up. That I want to be very clear that there's one version, which is the owners, and there's ours, and they don't match. I am very glad that that program successfully transitioned from Lake Merritt Lodge to 1888 MLK. HCV is now the master leaseholder with 1888 MLK, so we have a direct relationship to the owner. Communication is much better. We have the service we're getting from the property management side is much better, and outcomes will be much better. So and I know you had a second question.
Second question was, I don't understand why, if we're trying to help people, if you guys are trying to help people get to a place of self-sufficiency, reacclimating back into normal society, trying to be able to take care of themselves, why were all the kitchens? Why didn't you use the grant money to gut out all the kitchens? Because that actually creates people in a place of dependency, or have to spend money that they really can't afford to spend to feed themselves.
Well, that's why we're providing 3 meals a day. No money will have to go out of your pocket for food. We are also providing, we're also providing the community kitchens in those day rooms if people want to prepare their own food. So here's the reason why those items were pulled out. When this building was purchased by MEMAR and HCB as permanent supportive housing. As part of our process of acquiring the building, the city came to us and asked us if we could do this first year of encampment resolution funds. That's interim housing. So it's 2 completely different types of housing. For the permanent supportive housing, we have to supply, they have to have kitchens in their rooms. The folks who will be living there in the permanent supportive housing function or phase will be tenants. They will have tenants' rights, they will sign a lease, they will pay rent. This phase, it's a program, and that is partly why the decision was made to get those appliances out, because we need those appliances to be in good working order when we transition to permanent supportive housing. Another year of wear and tear could mean that we lose appliances in the process, and we don't have the money in the rehab to convert to PSH to replace all the appliances. So I know that's not a popular response, but you want the truth. That is the truth. That's why we have to do it. It's money, it's dollars and cents, and we have this property has to function as permanent supportive housing for 55 years. It has to function as encampment resolution program for 1 year.
You would think that you would have thought about
Okay,
that.
so let's take 2 more questions. We got ma'am here
Do you
and
think that you would
gentleman
think
back
about that in the
there.
beginning and do some type of intake to find out, you know, who's capable of using this and who's not.
That
So
is
you
not.
wouldn't even have to go through that right
That's
now.
not the process. The process is the folks who
You
are on the
wouldn't
course.
have to deal with that right now though, right?
Well,
Because there are people who are coming from over there who are capable of watching TVs and not destroying them and cooking food, you know? And there are some people out there who are not, who I wouldn't put them in front of any fire or any TV.
It's also part
you
of
know?
the grant
So-
application. They were promised.
Where the 7.2 million?
That's the $1 million question right there.
Okay, sir?
yeah, I can answer.
I would like to know what assurances you have to these people, coming from a failed program already. There's people currently right now living in substandard situations that you guys have not addressed as of now, I mean currently. What assurance do they have that you're not gonna push them into the same type of environment?
I'm sorry, sir, can I go to follow-up question? Which failed program are you referring to?
ACEB.
Okay, so has
Your
anyone,
numbers.
has anyone been to 1888 MLK? Those are the folks that were at Lake Merritt Lodge.
Those people, some of those people are currently right now living in dilapidated environments. I know that for a fact because I go and visit these people. And it's directly, you guys are directly overseeing their project.
It's a brand new building. It's been occupied since October.
I'm talking about what you're doing currently for the people.
Right, and we're providing meals every day, we're providing services, housing navigation, trying to get them to their next stop, to permanent housing, whether it's permanent supportive or just permanent affordable.
So you just
They're
go.
still in limbo, they're just stuck in limbo.
Okay, sir? Yes.
My name is Harry Williams, and I'm with Homies Empowerment. My question is this: many of the people that I talked to at the encampment have never spoken to someone who represents the organization, and they have a lot of questions. Can you tell us? And then some people have been contacted, but they weren't given any paperwork. They just said somebody came by here. Could you tell us how the connections are being made and how we can refer someone who might be eligible for the program?
Okay, thank you. I can't speak for the city's team or for Operation Dignity, but HCV staff have been outreaching to the three encampments, two encampments by the time he came on, since December, and have made contact with a lot of people. I mean, we've been in the encampments, we've been set up, we've offered food, engagement opportunities to come together. I can't speak for the whole team. All I can say is we've been on the ground since December. We've been there, we've been in the encampments, we've been meeting with people.
Who can we refer people to if they say, hey, I want this opportunity? Who can we refer them to? How can we do that?
I would defer. Yeah, so because we don't control the list, so we're just engaging with the folks that are identified.
So we're gonna come to that to the next question, so we'll get that answer. Okay, so, what's the city of Oakland's process and timeline for outreaching to and informing all encampment residents about transitioning to Mandela House, including supports to be provided to residents who assist their moving?
Did you say that you guys are gonna start some planning?
That's for Wakanda.
But I'm just wondering, I was one of the first people to get on your list, right? But I live over there on Burger King. So what happens?
If I could, and I recognize that you have a question, so I know that needs to be followed up on.
We're on the 605 question.
But to the question as it relates to what is the Oakland's process and timeline for outreaching to informant all encampment residents?
She's just asking him a question, and she'll.
We can't hear the answer.
Well, she'll repeat the question she's asking him to clarify.
So as to the question under 6.05, in terms of PM, I think the EMT has to speak to the outreach process and the timeline.
EMT is what?
Encampment management team.
I'll take that first one. So, as I mentioned earlier, outreach started about 6 months ago. We thought the problem was going to close much earlier. So we did develop that core census list. And we have been going back on a regular basis to actually go through and update our current list. So we have the core census, and then we have people that are on, we call a floating list, people who are not a part of the core census. So outreach continues to this very day. We're still going out to the area. Also, the county also may have their street health team out there doing some additional outreach. I'm not sure if you guys are in the area.
Yeah, and I also, sorry, and hi, I'm Lucy Katz, and I'm with Alameda County Health. And there's also been, I wanna acknowledge, need a right list that you all have collected as well, and I don't wanna speak on behalf of the city, but they have been receiving and taking in those names and your list as well, as they have populated this list.
So you're Alameda County Homeless Services?
Alameda County, yes, healthcare for the homeless.
Wrong team that's been out there standing around.
Was there any more to that? Okay, questions, sir, go ahead.
So yeah, I just wanted you to go ahead and elaborate, what is this floaters list that you speak of, and what happens with them? Because they're not being housed on the list, the floaters list, so in the meantime,
So I think, first of all, there's the capacity of the Mandela House. And so as you know, the grant incorporated 3 areas, the MLK encampment, the Mosswood encampment, and also East 12th Street. So from the MLK encampment, I believe there were 6 people total that moved over. For the Mosswood encampment, I believe there were 34 maybe. 39, 41 originals, but 34 actually moved over. And so we anticipate now, we have 79 individuals that are on the core list. So when I say a floater list, so the original list were people that were on the 6 months ago. So as we keep going through and visiting the area, we're finding there are more people at the location. So because we might have some extra capacity at the Extended Stay America, people on that floater list might be able to get services in the Mandela House. So we'll be adding once the original core has been either put into the facility or denied, not denied, but actually declined services, and look at the capacity that's left. Don't offer those floaters an opportunity to move into the facility.
the thing is, their belongings, personal belongings, and their living quarters is gonna be deconstructed, and then they'll have nowhere to go in the meantime while they're on this floater.
What about the people that are gonna stay in their houses that don't wanna go?
Duffy, how are you guys gonna reduce that number that you guys are currently creating of a floaters list? I mean, you guys just closed Mosswood, and those people were on a floaters list, and they're still out there floating right now currently with no place to go. What are you gonna do, keep adding more people to that list and gonna promise them extended stay?
So the individuals in the mosque live with the rest. You're absolutely right. We're not given a space in Mandela House because we needed to move forward with the original census that we have at East 12th Street. So what will happen is we'll take the people at that location. Based on what's left over, we will then offer the floaters direct. Then that area will be open to what our capacity is. We'll be able to offer anyone the leftover capacity.
That's true, and Foster.
Okay, we have a question right here, ma'am. Go ahead.
So my name is Freeway. I'm with Richard Commons as well as the Oakland Homeless Union. And my question is that, you mentioned that MLK and Mosswood were part of this count. But as somebody, and there's several people in here that fall into this category, as somebody who was actually on the ground at Mosswood the entire sweep, and as folks that are here that were at the MLK sweep now, a lot of folks that were told they were getting services and were even signed up more than once did not receive those services and are still, like our friend said, floating. So what is the assurance from the city that that will not continue to happen? And where's the accountability for the folks at MLK that are continuously scattered and there's no knowledge of where they are, there's no knowledge of where they're even at now to get them services? Where's the commitment to the city that will continue to happen? Because it's continuing to happen. The reason there's so many people at at East 12th Street is because of these sweeps and their lack of reach out, their lack of actual doing what they're supposed to do. That's left to the people that don't get paid to do it. So where's the accountability for that?
So one of the goals that we have in each encampment closure is to get people registered into the HMIS system. And that allows us to try to make sure that we run across them again, that we have that information for them. So in the closure for the NLK, we actually had, I think, a core census there, about 12 individuals.
Are you kidding me?
It was 68.
No, sir.
Your survey.
Now you know way more people than that.
Okay, all right, hold up.
Sorry,
Let's-
I couldn't hold that one in, y'all.
No, I appreciate it. Let's let Mr. Duffy complete.
What I'm saying was, there's a core
You know it's okay, cause you're still employed.
That's not true.
individual actually ended up, I believe, right now at Mandela House.
Is
It
five
was
an acceptable
68.
number for you? Is
You're-
5 an acceptable number to you?
Michael.
Yeah, he gonna write it, that's what job is done.
Your
Well, you're not
census
making
said
that goal.
68.
Excuse me.
Okay, ma'am.
What about the people who refuse to go?
Come back.
What about the people who stay in their homes and they're saying, no, we're not leaving? What's gonna happen to them?
For the,
For East 12, yeah.
so our goal would be, as part of the operation, to provide people with all the options that we have available, but we will close the encampment.
Oh, so, I mean, if they
Arrest
refuse to
will be
come,
made.
wait, if they refuse to come out of their homes, what are you gonna do?
Call it
You're
squad.
just gonna smash the
Anything to
place with
spend
them
more
in there?
money. Anything
Or
to
you're
spend
gonna
more
arrest
money.
them?
But they can just help us.
So our goal would be to make sure that we offer people the services that we have.
Right, and they're saying this isn't acceptable to us. They don't, some people don't want that. They don't wanna be patted down. They would like to go to and fro, you know, from all the way.
You hear this, gentlemen?
It
They
doesn't meet
build
their
houses.
expectations. So what happens to them? Because there are some people down there that are not gonna leave. They're gonna stay in their homes.
So what our process is,
Especially if they're on the Florida bridge.
our process is to provide notice of the encampment's going to occur.
They have noticed.
Okay.
I wanna know what's gonna happen. We already know all of that. All I wanna know is, when you come and they don't move, what are you gonna do?
Okay, so what our process is to provide notice, and then we show up, and we close the encampment.
So what are you gonna close it down on them? What are you gonna do? You're gonna take them to jail?
So we will try to pair people up with services, but at the end of the day, the encampment is scheduled for closure.
So then you'll take them to jail, or you'll boot them in there?
Okay, we have a few more
But
people that.
you haven't answered my question.
You have passed me by all night, can you please?
We have a few more people
No,
who
you
have not.
passed me by all night, can you give me a
So,
chance?
sir, right here.
Everybody's entitled to.
So, my name is Michael. I just wonder what kind of process, screening process you're gonna have as far as getting individuals off the street and into the housing. I mean, you gotta have warrant checks or something like that. And a lot of people out here, I mean, they put bathrooms, they close Burger King bathrooms, you have bathrooms, they took them away, because these people, they make a mess of everything.
These
They
are
damn
East
like,
Coast originals.
they expect the county to provide everything for them. Doesn't like just step on your own two feet and provide shit for yourself. So expect the county to do everything for you. It's ridiculous, the trash they put there. They do it
Excuse
themselves.
me.
Thank you,
We
sir.
had to do his question. Hold on, excuse me, I'm sorry. My math has been shattered up. So originally you said there are 79 spots, Mr. Duffy, right? Sorry, so originally I think you said 79 spots available at the Mandela Parkway, right?
No, I said there were 79 people in the core census.
People that, what?
In the core census.
Core census, okay, so.
The original census of people in the encampment. I know you disagree, but that's all.
No, I'm trying to get the numbers right? So 79 core census from East 12. How many spots is available at Mandela Parkway, first of all?
So it's 105 rooms.
Total.
There are multiple couples moving in, so that's how the numbers aren't always going to add up for.
Okay, so it's 105 rooms. So I think you isolated said 6 was from one place, and then you said 34, 30 something from another place. So that's about 40, right? So altogether, are there 60 rooms available right now for East 12?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then y'all already in a deficit.
Right.
No, we're not. So,
hold on, remember.
No, we're not.
That's some of the people who pay around.
I get, but there's still 60 rooms, right? So let's just say hypothetically, y'all in a y'all are in a deficit, right? So what I'm hearing is that no matter if y'all in deficit or not, y'all gonna close down East 12 regardless. Yeah. Right? So then that's an unfair balance because no matter what, y'all gonna clean up, spend all the resources, and they're gonna come right back.
Right, right. And it's gonna be even worse.
Okay,
And that's just my GD mathematics.
Thank you. Sir, go ahead.
Just to give folks a number, so we've been working with a group called The Village. We've been working with the folks at East 12 since 2016. And the census that we would, if to call it a census, that wouldn't call, we just build relationships with people.
Right.
There were more than 80 people there in last year.
Right.
But it has blown up to 189 people because of all the evictions that have happened from August till now, and people not being offered services and flocking to East 12. So this is, if they may be offered services, or you hope to offer them services, this is going to be a repeat of what's already been happening.
Where do they go?
Right. That part. Where do they go? And what I'm also learning is that when I go, I visit East 12 pretty regularly, and I ask folks, what's going on? How you guys, when it gets asked to me is, when are we moving in? Who's going to get moved in? When are they going to do this? People have so many questions. I found out today that the city was supposed to give folks who are getting moved in bins and bags to start packing stuff. I have yet to hear anybody from East 12 tell me that they've gotten stuff from the city to start moving in. So what is going on?
Too bad. What happens to the rest of our stuff?
Ma'am, did you have a specific question, or is that a comment?
What's going on with this disconnect of what the residents are hearing or not hearing, and then what is being reported today to the community? There is a huge disconnect that I don't understand.
Right.
Folks want to answer that, respond to that?
Y'all don't know how to, y'all know where that's why we didn't get no
There's an apparent disconnect, is what she's saying.
With outreach
Between
efforts.
between what's being said and what the encampment residents are hearing.
So it is my understanding that the residents that have agreed to move are getting some totes and some bags. I think that's happening this week, part of the soft move, to get them ready to go into for next week.
For the people who are not gonna get moved in, how do they find out? It's like total confusion and anxiety because people don't know. They just, what's gonna happen on the 12th? Who's gonna get evicted? Who's gonna get moved in? Who's gonna be left with nothing?
So it's my understanding, and that's why I referenced the core census. Those 79 individuals have been contacted, and they've been given a point in terms of which they will be moving. The first thing, though, I think they're starting with individuals that are in vehicles first, who are not in structure but in vehicles. So they're going out and they're making that outreach, and they will provide them with the bins and the totes to be able to do that. So I can follow up with the staff.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we know that the soft move is a ridiculous idea because it's called evicting people. We also know that solutions created by non-profiteers like this that aren't informed by the community are not gonna work. And we saw it with the cabins, and we saw it with down in LA in the Inside Not Safe program. So I hope that you actually collaborate with Wood Street Commons because they are poverty scholars and they do have trauma-informed work. You guys do not. So I'm gonna say that's one commitment that I would like for tonight. But we also know that if you stop using police and sheriffs and highway patrols and every other thing to the tune of $90,000 an hour, we could actually build housing like Coastalness, like Wood Street Commons, like more even of these, right? If they listen to the community. So why don't you stop lying about this safe work zone, which we know is absolutely unsafe, and will lead to the arrest and possibly harm of already harmed and fragile and houseless, disabled people who are at the end of their rope, and as this sister here said, do not want to go into your jail-like motel room. So when are you going to stop spending and lying about the safe work zone?
Okay,
soft move?
So, just to be clear, the safe work zone is for the employees of the city.
Oh, we know.
The
But we gotta hear it, huh?
the employees, the police officers are there because we have a requirement in our union contract to keep our employees safe.
How many have been hard?
What about the
None
people?
of you guys have been hard. You guys haven't been hard at all.
Okay, folks, we have one more question. I see some of the neighborhood folks have been leaving. So I want to get to this last question. What is the city of Oakland's plan and timeline for the closure, cleanup, and ongoing maintenance of
The same time,
12th Street median?
dramatic,
And the removal of people.
dramatics and dramatic.
Anxiety and depression.
Soft year.
So the operation will start on May the 12th. And then from that point, it should be 2 to 3 weeks before the closure happens. After the closure happens, when everything is cleared, we'll turn it into a construction zone. And we're bringing in riprap onto the median. So it'll be probably another month of construction for the riprap or the big rocks to go into the
So a month at 90,000 a day, you're saying, and that wouldn't, $1,000 could house, at 90,000 a day could house 90 people at $1,000 a month rent. But you're gonna take a whole month and spend all that money? Like for real? That's crazy.
That's right, to get more money.
To create
I want to hear, I want to see if there's.
Why was it that when we came down to the community today, Son of community, why is it that when we came down to the community today to tell them about this meeting, not a single fucking person knew about it? Right.
Okay, sir, you go ahead.
With no police support, by the way.
That part.
Or
This
paycheck.
this gentleman is up.
Yes, we do, but.
Jay, I'm with Poor Magazine. I also feel like the police and all, CHP, all of them, they shouldn't be getting paid enough like, that they are right now, because you have all these houseless folks that are like dying, you know, hurting out here, and y'all just doing the same thing y'all been doing.
Right.
90,000 a day.
You know how thousands of dollars that they could be getting house for.
Right. They don't care, we're just numbers. We're just
That's
numbers.
it.
Yeah, another way to write for some more money.
Right.
Okay, sir,
Justice for James Oak.
Okay.
gentleman in the back.
I've been out here for a little over 10 years. You know, from the original encampment, I done been through them taking our stuff,
Right.
bulldozing our homes,
Right.
telling us they'd compensate us, we never got nothing back.
Right.
I done been beat up by the police out here, slammed, you feel me? Like, it really don't bother y'all because it's not you in a situation or your people.
Right.
But we no different than what y'all is. The only difference is y'all got a suit and a tie and we in street clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just want a little love too.
Yeah, we don't have storages.
We not out here robbing people. We not breaking into businesses. We not doing nothing wrong. We actually out here cleaning this shit up. You know, catching sickness and all touching all that dirty shit because y'all won't do it. I mean,
trash services, man.
I mean, well, man, I've been to prison. What I want to leave here for to go to another prison.
Hello.
That's right. That's right.
That's crazy. I gotta get patted in and out. When I go out, I gotta get patted down when I come in. Come on, man, I ain't no kid.
Fucking jail.
I'm 44 years old. I want to go through that.
Thank you.
Would you like to go through that, brother? Or would you like your son or daughter to go through it? Everybody else says
Okay, let's take one last question, ma'am, right here, yes.
It's not a question, it's more of a statement.
Okay.
So my name is Lynette, I work for Councilman Houston. He had to go to an interview, but he wanted me to announce to all of you. Is anyone familiar with the Beautification Council?
Yeah.
Okay, so, he's no longer a part of the Beautification Council, but he also wanted me to let you guys know that, they are gonna be a part of the micro cleaning process after the big cleanup. So if you are interested in working $23 an hour, please give me your contact info and I'll make sure you get some more.
Alright.
Okay? So we're here for that. Do that before.
Okay, great, thank you very much. Okay, so we're gonna,
Y'all could have did that with this before
Gonna
this
ask-
week to help people sort through their stuff, to find what they're looking for, to get what they need, to put in those boxes, to put in those bags, all of that. Y'all should have did that before this week.
So we gonna cancel
Yeah,
the
okay,
safe
so-
word zone and the suite?
so
We could've
folks,
did
let
this
me
another way.
see.
Can we cancel that?
Let me see if I could, summarize what, at least what I heard.
It's gonna be a safe work zone, set down for a month, all the way around for what? Where's Solano? 3 blocks from East 14th, in which direction, left or right?
I think it's just the alleyway just past
Right
East
out,
12th.
alleyway right up.
It's
Oh,
halfway
that alleyway,
between, yeah.
that's in the middle,
In
okay.
between East 12th and International. Starting on May 12th, probably be about a month.
You know that feels like a
The
way to
war
hide
on the
what you
port
literally are
begins on
doing.
May 12th, or
Okay?
continues,
And
I
that
should
month
say.
includes the closure cleanup and the, I don't know, the turf construction.
Eviction, devastation.
Closure is just after that will be the construction of the river.
Okay, so that's, it'll be longer than that.
Yes, but those streets will be open within that month period.
So almost $250,000.
Collectively, we disagree on the
serious?
Yeah, so.
Everybody in the room,
so-
how many we are not with the suite?
So.
That's
I think we got
That's not
a
including
whole
paychecks
group of
on the suites,
constituents.
plus the police overtime.
Right, Mr. Duffy, a whole group
Yeah,
of
so that's a different,
constituents.
that's a
Plus we pay
different,
for the dump, right?
that's a different form. We have to figure that
No,
out.
that's this form, sir.
Where are you gonna get the form to seriously negotiate that? But right now, we're just getting this information, this is not our last meeting. So I wanna know if we have a public commitment from all of you, and from all of you, to come back in a few weeks, not more than 4 weeks from now, and find out whether or not.
After May 12th?
Right.
May 12th, it's all going down.
So,
We
wanna be
I
able
am
to
asking
construct it
if
ourselves.
you want to come back and find out whether or not things are happening, or they're not happening, or you want things changed. Because right now they're happening. Because we're gonna, yeah, they're gonna be happening. Something's gonna happen. And whether or not we like it or not is a different story. But is there a commitment to do so? If you all don't wanna commit, or individuals don't wanna commit, that's all right.
Y'all don't wanna do it.
Commit to
But we're
what?
gonna-
Listening to them,
but we
tell
are
us
gonna-
what they're gonna do?
What about the disconnect between the on the
We
ground?
got, there are a lot of other voices here too.
we don't want the violent
But
sweep.
we've already heard clearly that people don't want
We've
this.
heard, you've heard from some people.
No, everybody in this room is not cool with these sweeps, I would say, right?
You wanna make that commitment?
Constructing ourselves?
You wanna make a commitment?
We wanna make a commitment to stop using police officers to
Okay.
remove
That
houses
pays the
people.
money.
Okay, that's a different action that y'all have to organize. Okay? But I'm
We
asking,
gotta organize.
We
I'm
gotta.
not
You
organizing.
shouldn't even be acting like you wanna help you.
I'm not organizing.
Sir, just one quick question.
Make no mistake about it, I'm not organizing an action for that. I'm trying to find out whether or not people wanna come back or not.
My,
Okay,
my,
sir?
my question is, it's just in closing, if somebody comes to me on 12th Street and they say, hey, I need to contact somebody who's in charge of the housing, who can we tell them to connect with? Is there a phone number, an email, somebody that folk can contact? There are people in this room who don't know where to go. Where can they go? Who can they call? So I will give you that contact for all these people. Say afterwards, I'll
Right.
Okay, Mr. Duffy will put that up on the whiteboard, and if you have that question, come see him before he takes off and get that contact information. We're gonna come back together.
My commitment is house keys not handcuffs, sanctuaries not sweeps.
We're gonna come back.
House keys not handcuffs, sanctuary not sweeps.
House keys not handcuffs, sanctuary not sweep. House keys not handcuffs, sanctuary not sweep.
Okay, thank you, everybody. We'll see you in a few weeks. You guys wanna say anything?
Good night.